following announcement has been paid for by the
Wealth Management Advisory Club. Hey everybody, it's the president of the Wealth Management Advisory Club, Jack Mitchell here. Welcome back to another exciting WMA Club meeting. Before I send you guys off to this awesome meeting you guys are about to watch today, a couple announcements on our end because again, we have to. So, the first one is kind of big, and I thought I would never have to make this announcement, but I'm going to have to. So, as you guys already know we've been using Fluted to live stream our meetings this semester and a little bit of last semester. And over the past 2 weeks, we've been noticing that the server that we've used is not working. And what I mean by that is basically every time we go live, because we live stream on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Well, not mainly Twitter. Twitter I use my phone. Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Rumble, Getter, Fluted, and probably 9 times out of 10, Instagram and LinkedIn time out so much that I would have to go into the studio and refresh the stream. And that's probably why you guys are noticing on our LinkedIn page there's like a multiple posts, but we went live a couple times, is because of Fluted. And unfortunately I have to say that, but we apologize that is the inconvenience of that. My e-board and I, we did talk about this and that we really want to give you guys the best content out there without, the repetitive sea of posts being made multiple times with the same thing. So we have made a decision that as of today, at the time of this recording, obviously, March 3rd, 2023, we will be officially parting ways with Fluted for WMA Club. Again, this was a decision that I did not want to make, but I had to, based on what we were going through as a club. And again, I want to thank Fluted for allowing us to use their platform to live stream our meetings. And again, I want to just thank you for giving us that opportunity. So, with Fluted now gone, you're now probably asking yourself, well, wait, are the meetings still being live streamed? Are they going to be recorded? What's going to happen? So, to clear up all the drama with that, yes, they'll still be recorded. Yes, they will still be live streamed. And now you're probably asking yourself, wait, you got rid of Fluted, and what's going to take its place? Well, we've decided actually today to pick a platform that we thought would be the best fit for WMA Club. And it was a platform that I actually had my eye on for a while, ever since I stepped in as president. Actually, back in the fall semester, I kind of actually debated about using this platform, but because of the pricing. But we did find a deal with them, and I can happily announce this that as of today, March 3rd, 2023, we have signed a deal with Restream.io to use them as the official live streaming broadcasting platform for WMA Club. So basically, all of our meetings now will be streamed through that server. So basically, YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter. Finally, Twitter, I can actually just go through it through there, which is awesome. And I'm also going to announce another thing that we're going to test trial for a minute, and we're going to see if it works. I know most of you guys probably know already we have a TikTok page, but unfortunately, in order to go live on TikTok, you have to have 1,000 followers, which WMA Club does not have, which, again, please leave us a follow on the TikTok page. So, for the time being, we have decided that starting next meeting, March 7th, we will officially be live streaming our meetings on TikTok. However, they will not be on the club page because, again, we do not have 1,000 followers. A, and B, on top of that, I can't find any workaround around it. So we will use my account. So it's Jack Mitchell. Go there for the TikTok stream that will be live streamed through our meetings. Until we get 1,000 followers on TikTok, which I hope to God that happens this year, hopefully sooner than later, then we can actually live stream on that club account. But since we do not have it yet, we have to live stream on mine because I do have more than 1,000. So again, that'll be starting March 7th. And by the way, next week's sponsor, just a little bit of a spoiler alert, it's going to be Restream. So all right, so that's the first one. And then the second announcement, let me give you guys a lay down for next week, which will be our second week of our mega week. So hold on a second. All right. Okay, so next week is going to be another exciting week of WMA Club activities. We have 3 meetings. On top of that, 2 meetings, 1 crossover event, 1 co-hosting event, and then the start of our spring break workshop spectacular on March 10th. So the schedule is as follows on the right. So March 6th on Monday, WMA Club will be crossing over with the Professional Development Program at FDU Silverman to bring to you the Executive Speaker Series. We'll have Kyle Bolden from EY to come and speak to us. That will be at 2:30 p.m. in Lenfeld Hall or Hennessy Hall in the Mansion on the Forum Campus Metro. I apologize, there will not be any in-person option there. However, as a constellation of that, we here at the WMA Club will live stream the entire meeting on Instagram. And I'm not joking. I know FDU Silverman, advertises a Zoom option, but there really isn't. So I'm going to give you guys, the option to do that. So if you guys want to watch that meeting, go to our Instagram page on Monday. Do not go to our Zoom link. Do not do that because we're not going to have a link up there. And then after that, March 7th at 6 p.m., another bonus meeting with Edward Jones. And the person's name I'm about to say, you guys have probably heard this person before. Yes, Bob Compitella or Robert Compitella will be coming back to speak to the WMA Club. He was actually an amazing speaker and actually was kind of one of my favorites last year for the WMA Club. So I was very excited to actually bring him back to speak to us this semester. So that'll be on March 7th. Then on March 9th, we will have EP Wealth. Aaron Vosen will be coming in. Now, I will say this now just to forewarn everybody. On March 9th, that meeting will not be at 4 p.m. It will not be at 4. It will be at 3 p.m. The reason why is that there is a PDP event happening at 4 p.m. So to avoid any conflict of interest, we are going to push our meeting back to 3 p.m. So again, Thursday meeting for this next coming Thursday only will be at 3 p.m. and not at 4. The locations will remain the same. It's just the time. And again, I'd like to thank PDP for allowing us to do that. So we both, our members, you guys, can actually go to the PDP event after our meeting, which will be awesome. And then Friday, March 10th, 2 things will be happening. First of all, WMA Club will be co-hosting with FDU's Rothman Institute or the NJ or FDU's NJ Small Business Center, the FDU Pitch 23 competition. And then on March 10th at 6 p.m. on all of our club accounts, it will be the chapter 1 of our 10-chapter WMA Club Spring Break Workshop Spectacular. It'll be the start of that, and I believe if I have my handy-dandy cheat sheet that I have here, the first one will be behavioral finance. So that will be at 6 to 7 p.m. on all of our club social accounts. So again, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Rumble, Getter, Twitch. And that actually brings me to my second to last announcement. We have also, I believe as of today, we've actually have added another streaming platform deal that we are going to be signed with, and that is going to be D-Live. So basically it is an alternate to Twitch. So again, we will be live streaming those meetings on there now as well. So again, thank you guys so much for getting us this far to actually get another deal in. And thanks enough to Restream, we're actually able to stream to 8 channels, so we're actually going to add this one as the second to last channel that we have, right next to Instagram, which basically now have to use the yellow duck to basically go through those live streams, and I'm hoping that this time it will work out right. It won't bug out. And if it does, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. I really don't know. I might just go back to fluting. So, and then finally, just the last reminder, we do have one more event left this week in our week 1 of our mega weeks. Yes, it will be on Saturday, March 4th. It is a Midsummer Night's Dream. FDU WMA Club, FDU SGA, and the FDU Theater Arts will be co-hosting that event together. That will be at 7:30 p.m. in the Dreyfus Theater on the Forum campus only. Remember, use promo code FDU Club to get 10% off your ticket. And do not worry, there'll be a lot of fun. There'll be some raffles, there'll be some sweepstakes, you'll get to meet the cast, and you might have a chance to spot me in my e-board. You never know. Anything can happen. So again, that will be on Saturday, March 4th, 7:30 p.m. in the Dreyfus Theater on the Florham campus. Metro, if you want to come, I have no problem. Just, be prepared to take that drive up here. So, all right. And then that is really it for me, obviously, because there is no sponsor. We're not going to go into that. So, with that being said, and just one last thing I'm going to say. Unfortunately, Alyssa and Nicolas Delorenzo was not able to make it this meeting because they did come down with some sickness. So in their place is going to be Ashley Dell'Olio, and I pray to God that I actually get this name right because I know I screwed up the last time, and Matt Franco. They will be our guest speakers from Northwestern Mutual. So again, I know in the title it's going to say, Alyssa Cseh and Nicolas Delorenzo, they were not able to make it. So just to throw that disclaimer out there. All right, if you guys are ready, and I know I am most certainly ready, let's get you guys all to the meeting.
And now, our feature presentation.
Mike, I'm muted. Hopefully, once
That work.
yeah, just gotta get this off there. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Wealth Management Advisory. Apologize for that. Welcome back to another Wealth Management Advisory Club meeting. Today we have Northwestern Mutual coming in. You guys might have heard of them. They might have actually. I think you guys came to our recruiting fair last Thursday. Yes, you must have probably seen them already. Today we have Matt Franco and we have Mike Franco. I apologize. This was last minute. I apologize.
Last time.
Okay. At least I got that right. And then we have Ashley Dell'Olio will be coming and speak to us about Northwestern Mutual. Guys, please turn your cameras on if you can. Let's ask a lot of questions. And Ashley, welcome back to you, being a former FP alumni. And with that, I'm going to let you two take it away from here. You are welcome.
Okay, and then should I have this facing us or just? Yeah. They can see us, that's fine. Okay, so, I ask a question, but so you wanted.
Yeah, cool. Well, tell you about Northwestern Mutual. For those of you that don't know about the firm, or just learned about it last week. I would like to say we are the preeminent life insurance in the United States, but also the top 5 in the asset management space. Northwestern is very unique in that sense, that not many other firms that can say that. I don't think there's another firm that can say that. So we take a very much a holistic approach to financial planning. We're always looking at what I like to call dumb power clients, boxes, build a good relationship with them. I think one thing that's cool about Northwestern is AAA rating across the board. You guys think about financial strength ratings from the agencies, Moody's and Forest Fitch and Best, for example. AAA rating just simply means the highest financial strength ratings from each of those 4 major credit rating agencies. Just simply means that you're the strongest company from a financial standpoint in the United States. There's actually only 2 companies that are AAA rated across the board in the US today. One's Microsoft, the other one's Northwestern Mutual. So very strong financial firm that are out in the mid-1800s, really just focused on comprehensive planning with our clients.
That's a great intro for us. So I always like to share the vision and the values of our office. I think that's something that's important for you to know kind of what you stand for and what you're working for. So in Florham Park at the Holloway Network office, our vision is empowering people, impacting lives, and securing tomorrow. And then our values are impact, legacy, and courage. At least for me, impact is the biggest thing in our vision and our values. I want to feel like I'm making an impact on, students' lives, the company as a whole, the office in general. And it's really good to know that even though you're working for a huge national company, you feel like more than just a number in that setting, in that workplace. So I think impact to be a part of our vision and our values are just something that I think really stands out about us. So a little bit about our team. So obviously you can see I'm the campus recruiter, and I do initial interviews, recruiting, sourcing, and anything that has to do with the first kind of relationship that's built in the office with a candidate or a potential new hire. And lovely Mike Franco is our college unit director. He does our second depth interview. And Darren Graham, who obviously is not here today, but he is our development officer. He does that third and final interview. And then Matt Holleran there at the top of that page is our managing partner. He's kind of like the big boss in a sense, owns the office. That's why we're called the Holleran Network office. And he is our managing partner who still, creates really strong relationships with all of our new hires, our interns, our full-time workers, and, even came to that career fair that we just had on Thursday to really connect with the on-campus life. So you want to take financial
Yeah, for sure. So what do we actually do, right? So my role is as a CFP and then also as a CUP in leadership, college and director, certified financial planner. As I mentioned before, we do comprehensive financial planning with our clients, right? A lot of what we're very good at is just building relationships with people. What I always tell folks I get introduced to is my role is to step off from like dump out that financial box of yours and create a line with this point. And that always opens up opportunities, right? So when you think about the work that we do from a holistic standpoint, it's really segmented in three key areas. My risk management, we involve your insurances, right? So Northwestern, where you get life insurance plans, disability, care, annuities, etc. That second area is accumulation planning, right? So a lot of people think about this as like investment planning, right? So he came up to my team and I and said, well, hey, Mike, I retire a tax advantageous man, right? Just to give you an idea there. Usually in this kind of realm, we're talking a lot about maximizing your potential to save, invest, accomplish what is important to you. And then that third area, which you'll see there on the screen as well, we call that your wealth preservation and distribution. This can make people depending on who you're in front of. I just look at it as well as you work as hard as you do to build assets, grow your net worth over time. Inevitably, it's going to come a point in life where you got to make sure that we're distributing and preserving those assets as efficiently and effectively as possible, right? So when you bring these three areas together, which do create financial security for someone's future, setting themselves up to accomplish a lot of ways. And so, we're just finances, right? At the end of the day, build good relationships, uncover opportunities, and provide the tools that are needed to allow a family or an individual. Right? So, one thing I tell my clients as financial planners is that my role is to protect you from luxury investment, right? And I think what Northwestern Mutual does really well is comprehensive nature of it all, right? We're one of the firms that brings insurance and investments together to create greater outcomes for clients. We're not just an asset management firm, we're not just an insurance firm, right? We do comprehensive planning. So we see a lot of CFPs with the firm, very important. Clients sometimes are strictly on the investment side, clients strictly on the insurance side. Most clients will do both, right? So we'll develop plans for everybody. So moving on, what we do.
And then a little bit to tie into how the internship kind of really gives you a real world hands-on experience that Mike lives every single day, is that, we're going to give you that training and that development in order to be a successful financial representative. We want you to start building relationships in the office and work with the experienced financial reps that are there, and participate in joint work, which is something that you do sometimes. Which is where, an experienced financial advisor or financial representative can kind of come into the meeting with an intern, make them feel more comfortable, more supported, and kind of work on the conversation and client together. So we definitely don't throw you into the deep end of the summer internship in the sense that, you're just going to learn how to swim. We're really there and supportive and keep you feeling like you're getting the training and development you need. You also get a mentor, which is great. Mike has mentored some people in the past internship programs. And they're really there to give you a strong form of business coaching, set and managing your goals, and a huge support system that really helps you get through the internship in a sense that you feel like you got a lot out of it. You understood what the role means and, got an idea of maybe what you want to do outside of school, which hopefully is, come back and potentially work for us. And that's why we feel that the internship is a great way for you to determine your fulfillment in this type of position and kind of leave the door open post-graduation and into other semesters in school if it's something that you still kind of want to do with us. So we talk about the compensation, slightly in the initial interview, and that's something we can get more in depth into if it's a specific question that somebody wants to learn about. But our program has a large history of success, and that's why we continue to grow and develop internship on a daily basis. Almost 60% of all of our senior leaders across the board over the West Coast to East Coast are once getting their start in the internship, which is great to show you really how a pattern and path of success can really be achieved after being in the internship program. 1 in 3 of our interns typically convert with us full-time upon graduation. So it's a great way to show that seniors and students in their last semester of school really want to stay on after the program and continue doing this for a long-term career. And then we've also had over now 60 students join us in this internship program across the country to be a financial representative.
Well, I think it's tactic, right? In many ways, there's a couple of things like this is very entrepreneurial, right? So if you ever saw yourself wanting to build your own practice under the umbrella of a greater financial firm, right? What an opportunity that is. To me, I remember when I was a senior and I was graduating, an opportunity to be entrepreneurial. I love finance. I wanted to be the center of my clients' financial lives, and I just wanted to be somewhere where I'm paid for what I'm worth, right? I love the idea of that, and that's very much what happens when you build your own practice, right? What you put into is what you're going to get out of it. And so I always tell people, if you're sort of that go-getter, you want to better yourself, you want to take some level of risk to, achieve this life that you might always dreamed of, never thought maybe was possible, right? What an incredible opportunity this is, right? And definitely we live it every single day. So, I really like how to.
Yeah, I think the internship program and then obviously our various programs, such as emerging advisor role, which is for seniors that are graduating, this upcoming May or some type of month in the summer, are just great ways to really get that real world experience where you're learning from others, experiencing it yourself, hosting your own meetings, making your own phone calls. It's not an internship where you're getting coffee or filing paperwork or anything like that, where you could see in movies or maybe some companies that are just looking for additional help in the summer. We really want you to feel like you are building lasting client relationships with people, helping them become more financially independent, where we're there to give you the learning and support to do so. And ultimately, if you feel like you're enjoying it during the internship program, leave that door open kind of full time for post-graduation. So I'm not sure if anybody on the call has any questions, or if you have any questions, Jack, or if there's anything you want us to go into more detail about.
Mute myself. Oh, wait. All right. Does anyone have any questions on Zoom? Anybody before I ask my questions? Thumbs up. All right. That's a good thing. Okay. I guess I'll ask my first question. Obviously, I've asked this to multiple. Oh, wait, no. Oh, we got someone coming in the Zoom. Perfect.
Okay, so I remember now I know there are two different designations, but in your opinion, do you feel like for someone who's a that do they need a CFP, do you need a CFA, do you get both? Because we've had students on the path of about, you need to get both, you need to get part of it. What's your opinion?
Yeah, something like that, right? I think if you're going to be on the analytical side of firm needs to get charter financial. I think if you want to run your own practice and be a planner, you need to see it, right? So it depends kind of what direction you want to go. If you're going to be an analyst, CFA all day long. If you're going to be a financial planning, build your own practice, it's got to be CFP, right? Now, frankly, you don't need the CFP, right? You can build a very successful practice just being considered financial revenue. But the reality is that's where the industry is going, right? Most times I meet with somebody new, they ask me for CFP, right? I get asked that quite a bit, actually. And people sometimes will work with me and seek me out just because I am a CFP, right? So it is that high standard designation in the financial planning industry. So I think if you see yourself wanting to kind of build your own practice under the umbrella of a reputable financial firm, you're acquiring clientele, you're selling insurance, selling investments, I think it's a no-brainer to get the CFP. But I think if you're going to be a bit more behind the scenes, maybe let's say the roles more analytical, future, then you better off to see it. That'd be my answer.
And you just follow. What is the day like? Members of are actually even some are mine, some are bakery, some are county. I'm just curious.
For sure. I mean, that's quite a bit, right? I think there's not one day that's on board, right? I think the day-to-day of financial advisor is so you're an entrepreneur or you're building a business, right? So think about how do you build a practice? We got to find clients, right? It's sales. And so ultimately, what we do day in, day out is we build great relationships, uncover opportunities to be a resource for them and their families, right? So, a typical day, I might be coming in early in the morning, making some phone calls to some people I was introduced to, maybe some follow-up calls, book up my calendar, and spend the rest of my day. Pre-COVID, that was all in person. Post-COVID tends to be mostly virtual now, I will say. But I think that's one of the things I love the most, right? It's very personal, very outgoing. I just love hearing people's stories, right? So I'm going one meeting to the next and just hearing about how that person, that family became successful. What do they do, right? And how can we be a resource for them? We can uncover opportunities. You build really meaningful relationships to the point where after you're 10 years in, I've been 10 years in Northwestern, for example. I'm going out with clients now, and we'll go out, grab lunch, grab dinner, and grab some drinks or whatnot, and just get very personal. Your clients tend to become some of your best friends along life, right? So I think what you are doing is you're building regular relationships, meeting people constantly, you're setting up your calendar to be successful. But then from that, you uncover opportunities. So a lot of times I come back with my team, I'm working on developing financial plans. We're making recommendations. We're figuring out how to move back, what we're going to present, and inevitably from building a relationship, it's a lot of really cool. And it's cool to hear people's stories, that's for sure. So yeah, a little bit of day in life, I guess you could say.
That even is a question. What does it take that passes the FP? Obviously, as big as being a talent maker, I'm really not being on the CPA, but
Yeah.
What I heard, parts of it.
Yeah.
Like you play a little more, what is the CPA? Or the strategy to church based on asset.
Yeah, so I think first off, one of the best things to do is have some experience in the industry. So you can get your CFPs in there with experience in the industry. A lot of the questions are more geared to this particular situation, right? So it might be multiple. But which one makes the most sense, right? Which one's the most applicable for CFP body, how they look at it, right? So I think that's what makes it tricky. Test itself is 170 questions, like 7 to 8 hours. It's a full day basically. But I went through an accelerated program, and it was broken down to 7 different sections of financial planning, anywhere from risk management to estate planning, right? I think what you want to do is really hone in on those classes, learn, pay attention. But the thing that got me through was just practice exams, balance, right? I think it's no different than taking any other exams. If you have experience in the industry, so you know how to deal with certain situations, that gives you a leg up. After that, just make sure that you take a lot of practice exams. So you got to get a question, right? You'll go into it full of confidence. You'll be able to pass it. I'm not going to sit here and say it's an easy test. It certainly wasn't an easy test. I think they'll send you an email after you take it, and they'll let you know what percentage of that class passed. And I think mine was like 41 or something like that percent. So you can take it, it's 4 times a year, three or 4 times a year. You can take it, right? So you jump into the next one. But I think I find that those who fail are the ones who are least prepared. Maybe they do their practice exams, things like that. Perhaps you might not have as much experience in the industry as somebody else, right? So those are kind of my tips there.
In the chat here, Kevin Ryan asked, how long does it usually take to get a license or take the
To get licensed, it's pretty straightforward, if I'm going to be honest with you. So life accident health, right? That gives you the ability to sell life insurance, health insurance, disability insurance, all that good stuff. I don't know if I find the test to be overly complicated, to be honest with you. You actually put the time in and read the material and just make a practice exam or two, you'll get no problems at all. Honestly, back in 2013, it's fine. I think I knocked it out maybe in about a month, not even. Yeah, I just dedicated myself to each lives right after I graduated college. I knew I was going to do this. And, I just took the month of July to study. I got things that really wasn't that bad. Nothing like CFP. If you're prepped for it, you usually give it back down, no problem. I think it's preparation that will determine what it is. You can't wing it either. That's the thing. If you go out and wing it, you'll fail it. But if you prepare, you'll pass. It's like one of those exams. It's going to be between. Yeah.
Actually, asked a question first. Kind of first what do you look for in insurance? What makes you know, like, because I heard this from and I don't know different client, I go to the county. Oh, we know it's freshman, all for the juniors, but obviously, at Northwestern Mutual, what do you
Yeah, that's a great question. I think we're, of course, open to offering a freshman, a sophomore, junior, and a senior. It's just whether or not, that individual is highly motivated, naturally driven, naturally competitive. So sometimes, student athletes have that naturally competitive leadership style drive. And sometimes we have some students that are majored in the business umbrella of business admin, management, finance, accounting. And then we have some people who are completely different of the business aspect of it that, might have gone into college for music or something of art or psychology. And I would say as long as the individual is highly motivated, a talented individual, driven and organized, and ultimately, like Mike said, want to create long-lasting relationships with people, you're interested in people, so you want to get to know someone on a personal level. I think those are all major qualities that we look for every day, at least in my initial interviews. I want someone who's involved, that's driven, that likes to talk, that wants a conversation, that, they don't have to be the life of the party, but they want to socialize in whatever environment that is for them.
What is the internship experience like at Northwestern? Like, how does it differ clients from like Goldman Sachs? What makes Northwestern?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunities in the internship world that are basically shadowing opportunities. And I think that that's something that we stray so far from, because we don't want you coming in and just kind of watching other people. I was gonna say if there's somebody that's coming in, they can come in, but I would say that we stray so far to be completely different than a shadowing opportunity, because at this rate, you're gonna learn on the job. You want to do things, you want to talk to people, you want to host your own meetings. And at the end of the day, you want to close your own deals. It's going to feel if you're the one doing the work and not watching somebody else's success at the end of the day. I would say that is probably our main difference in our internship, but also that you have an uncapped and unlimited compensation opportunity with us. A lot of internships, I think, are, like I said, filing paperwork, maybe coffee runs, doing some busy work that they just need someone to do, and you're going to get paid about $15 to $20 max, I would say, at most of these places. And at the end of the day, life is expensive, and we want you to be happy working with us and feel like you're getting a good experience and a good paycheck out of it. So I would say, in a sense, that we are probably one of the only internships that do not cap intern compensation. Kind of leads us in the group for internship opportunities in the summer in the finance role.
Yeah, I would piggyback off of that too, and just say I think what makes this internship so neat, they're doing nothing different. Right, you don't see that. Right? You usually have somebody say, okay, they're doing this and doing that. You get the I love this. I'm doing it every day. I'll show you the roads. I'll give you the tools and resources. You do the job. There you go. Right? So you're doing work no different than somebody's been there. Right. And I think that's why it's considered one of the top financial services internships, right? Because you get real world experience, you get a legitimate rejection, right? You have to face it, you have to learn, you come out of it, move around. Whether you like it or not, it's just the reality of it, right? It's hands-on. And I think that's the beauty of this internship. I've coached interns to be recognized top 10 nationally in the country. I've coached interns to come in and make the average American salary 3 months over the summer. It all just comes down to how badly you want it, how hard you want to work. That's possible. To Ashley's point, there's no limit. compensation, right? Go out there, build clients, and make sales. Yeah, go knock yourself out. I'll help you do it. That's the reality of it, right? That's the beauty of it. On the flip side, you can come in and make nothing, right? So I think we're always looking for the right kind of person, right? You have that drive to action point. You have that work ethic. Are you entrepreneurial? You want to take risks. You want to achieve what 1% of the population achieve, right? I think that's the kind of platform we offer, which is awesome.
You work for
Yes,
and those digital business.
I did not. So that is, I think, our perfect point to that. We're not looking for a specific, candidate that is only in the finance field, because I was not in business at all. It was not the silver in school. I was a psychology major as my undergrad, and I'm actually graduating with my master's at the end of May with my industrial organizational psychology master's. So that's going to be a nice personal achievement of mine. But I think because I had a passion for business to begin with, and I did start off in the business school. However, I wanted to have a people-facing role. I wanted to work in the human resources umbrella of a company and be part of the hiring and onboarding and recruiting process. And I think that through that, I found Northwestern Mutual because I love the business side of work. I definitely wanted to be in business, but I didn't want to limit myself. And I think that it really shows that, we're looking for the right person, the right candidate, not the resume credentials, not the specifics in the, GPA, the major, the concentration, the school. We're looking for that specific type of person.
What was your favorite FD?
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. So I was actually part of the FDU volleyball team, and I loved it. I played volleyball my whole life, and I think that that's something I wanted to continue with into my college education. I wasn't ready to quite, give it up for my day-to-day yet, and I still don't. I still play on the weekends, so that's great. But I think my favorite memory was probably going to our farthest away game as a volleyball, student athlete, and driving about 4.5 hours into Pennsylvania to play a team we thought we were going to lose. And, we ended up winning and coming out the better team. Everybody has a bad day. It's not guaranteed. And I think that was a good life lesson for me, in a sense that, nothing is predetermined for you, and that if you put in the work, you should or would get the outcome that you wanted and deserved and work hard for it. But I would say my favorite memories on campus were always with the volleyball team and in the rec center.
Diving back. I've heard that a couple people are coming in. Can you explain a little bit more?
Yeah, so the biggest way to think about it is think about right? On one end of the spectrum, you have insurance specialists, and the other end of the spectrum, you have financial advisors, right? Insurance specialists are good with you, they know their insurance products, they position them in the marketplace, right? That's what their focus is. Financial advisors are good with asset managers, right? They know how to construct portfolios, they know how to invest and generate wealth for families when it comes to investment side. Right in the middle of the spectrum, you have that's sort of bringing this and this together to create a full plan experience, right? So I think you hear kind of financial planner, financial advisor, financial representative, right? You get all these terms not feel a little confusing at first. Financial rep is someone who gets started off maybe as an insurance, maybe like 6 see this license, right? They can sell mutual funds, they can sell some life insurance, PI, so as a financial rep. But then once you get more designations, for example, you become a financial advisor, right? You do more sort of based asset management, things of that nature. And then from a financial planner standpoint, they just have a wide array of knowledge, right? From CFP and experience in the industry. And they basically do exactly what a financial advisor does and what an insurance specialist does together to ultimately help their clients, right? So when you hear financial advisor and financial planner, they might be doing the exact same work, right? If it's strictly an investment client, it's fee-based asset manager, we might be doing the exact same thing, right? But we always think about it as a one-stop shop financial planner, right? That's what I wanted to be. I didn't want to manage the portfolio for you, refer you out to the insurance, right? I wanted to be able to do it all together because strategically, insurance and investment work. Ernst & Young wrote this research. You bring those two together, you create better outcomes, right? So I want to do both, right? And by doing both, which maybe more
What are some common mistakes that people make when
Oh, that's a good question. Well, you got to stick with your 4 main principles, right? Can't time the markets, can't forecast the economy. Best time to invest is when you have cash. Best time to sell is when you need cash, right? I think people, the worst mistakes they make is number one, not having a financial plan, and number two, trying to time, right? Generating wealth is something that takes patience, right? It takes time. You got to let compound interest do what it does best. And people who panic out of the market when there's corrections, they're the ones that always take the biggest losses to go along that. Right? Now, the best way to stay in the market without value is $60 on the side, right? That allows you to stay invested, that allows you to go through the correction and be part of that next 100% advance. I always tell clients, we don't want to be those that panic at a 20% correction. We want to be able to go through a 20% correction and be part of that next 100% advance, right? So the biggest mistake you can make, honestly, not having a financial plan, and trying to time the market.
someone who's like you don't really have people in your performance, maybe or not? Someone who finds what would be the advice?
Something like get into wealth management as opposed to maybe more of an analytical kind of role, behind the scenes role, whatnot. Well, I think you have to kind of look at yourself and understand the person that you are, right? You know, because I think ultimately we need people for everything, right? And you know, one particular role is going to suit you better than another role, right? I think if you want to be you're personable, and if you want to be client facing, you want to be in a position where you get to look at relationships with people and make an impact on them from the front lines, maybe not behind the scenes. That's another thing about getting into management, right? Because that's all it is. You know, I always tell clients, they don't invest money with me because I know you see, right? You invest money with me because of the relationship that you have. So if you see yourself as somebody who wants to build relationships with people and ultimately then generate practice from that, that's what I'm thinking about.
Maybe that depends what kind of person you are, client facing or behind the scenes. That'll really tell the story, I think.
I'll help you with your career track, no doubt about it. Once you figure that out, you'll know exactly what route to go. For sure.
Yeah. But what are the, as you know, pros and cons active? And what's the approach maybe that's someone
Yeah, so well, I think you got to be time horizon, right? Whenever you see it, that's a question, right? When am I going to need it? How much risk am I willing to run? And what's the purpose? So you think about time horizon, right? Anything that's maybe 2 years from now, that's what we save for now. Anything 2+ years from now, those things are coming up. We have a little bit more time on our hands to take some risks, we can invest. That 10+ years sort of midterm money, that's oftentimes overlooked, underaddressed. Your long-term money is after the done and have no penalty, right? So I think you always got to think about it from that lens. In terms of active or passive funds, it really just depends on the client who you're in front of, right? And I mean, there are times where active funds make more sense, times where passive funds make more sense. You know, we manage money from home, right? I manage generational wealth where returns next year, right? We manage more generational wealth, education planning, retirement planning. So we're looking for steady, stable returns to ultimately accomplish particular goals with clients, right? And so, you know, there are times where we'll develop diversified portfolios, equity funds, and whatnot, and some of them might be active, some of them might be passive. And I always kind of say this, you know, they each play their role, right? And I always thought about it, right? You know, yes, we can take more of an active one. The reality is you have somebody behind the scenes, right, doing the trading. Well, they can decipher what industry is going well, what industry is not going well, and if it's even a passive investment, I'm not going to do that. They shouldn't buy anything up regardless, right? Well, you can argue an active manager fund at that point was well worth the money. They generated greater alpha for me because they knew what was doing well, what wasn't doing well, right? So, but I also love passive funds, low cost, right? It does the deal, it generates wealth over time. So I think it depends on the client, right? And I think sometimes, and a lot of times, a combination of both makes a lot of sense as well. Get the best of both worlds, you know. So ultimately, whether it's active, whether it's passive, what you want is you want to be able to just develop a well-diversified portfolio of equities, right? You want to be goal-oriented, plan-driven. Those are clients. You know, what are your goals? We have a plan in place. We have a good portfolio of mutual equities, right? Whether active, passive, that'll be determined. That's just a question. That's the client. Get a feel for what they're looking for. design something. I think it's a right role.
So we didn't working. I've heard from a couple of people. One is actually having a voice on time of day and then go work twice a day. Like, what do you think, in your opinion? Do you feel like hybrid work would be quite valuable for a person who would remote? Because I, in my opinion, work there, but what's your opinion?
Yeah, I personally think that in person is definitely the way to go. I know COVID has kind of changed some things and made it more virtually friendly. And yes, that's good for, time constraint or getting on a call with somebody who might have been living too far or at an area they couldn't get to you. But at the same time, in person is ultimately going to be the best option. You get to see everyone in person. You get to form better relationships. It's hard to get the real feel for somebody almost over a virtual call. It does the job in the sense that, you can get a good conversation in, but sometimes I think it limits, like body cues and different things, like simply shaking somebody's hand. I think it's just a great thing to be able to do that in person. I know in COVID, we weren't doing that for a while, which was fine, but the financial advisor role, it is good for flexibility though. Like Mike is able to not be in the office 5 days a week if he needs be, if he wants to work from home, weather's bad, it's got something going on with his family or at home, isn't feeling the best today, still wants to work, but doesn't want to come into the office. It's a very flexible role in a sense that you can be in person, or you can be virtual kind of at home, but my own personal opinion would definitely be that in person is always better. Remote work, I think, is easy to slack off from or not put 100% into, and you don't get those office relationships. You have to wait for a phone call or an email to kind of talk to somebody in your office or on your team. Whereas if you're in person, you just walk down the hall and go in there. So I think that in person kind of will always be the most superior way to work. But I know that people have their opinions and want to work from home and have their own things going on. That virtual is better.
Yeah. Well, you got to remember too, right? This type of role, you're building your own practice. Right. So no one tells me whether I got to go in. Right. I go in because I like being in. Well, I don't have to, I don't want to, right? The reality is Goldman Sachs says you have to go in, you got to go in. You don't have a choice there, right? No one can tell me what I want. It's my own business. Right. So the beauty of it is I can work 100% remote. I work 100% in the office, right? Combination of both, right? I like being in the office. I'll be in the office most days of the week, right? Then I'll see how I grab lunch, right? I might work on a remote destination at that point. But there are times where, we talk about it, just like living right there. Times when my wife and I just travel places and I just work. I'll do some trips in Montana and the mountains, right? So I think that's the beauty of being entrepreneurial, right? In many ways, when you're more of a corporate platform, yeah, the boss says it goes. So, whether you like it or not, yes. But Goldman Sachs, you got me 3 days a week. Well, you're in 3 days a week, you're out, right? That's having that flexibility that actually both guys tremendous. Short, right? Discipline it takes successful.
Yeah. What strategies can someone use? Maybe majority. Other than what would be the strategies?
Yeah, it's build that financial security in many ways so that they can go take more risk if they like to take more risk. Well, I mean, you got to think about a couple of things, right? Insurance play a role, right? Protect your income, protect your family with that benefit. You have emergency fund in place, right? So if you have those three things, you feel a little bit more at ease. Feel like you have financial security. I think one thing that I learned in the industry, I realized when we make 1,000 a year, everybody. Right. Everyone's got a home run segment of building wealth. That's what they try to find. That's what they're at the park. But everybody's also got aggressive in the same segment. So to answer your question, what you want to do is you want to build a really efficient safe segment, right? If you have safe dollars that are efficient, what I mean by efficient, greater U.S. contacts, right? You can somehow make safe more efficient and build somewhat of a position of safe dollars. That would be concerned. You don't take as much risk as you want. You always got a fallback option. You have a fallback option that's outpacing inflation with no taxation, right? So I think you have to think about it from that perspective. I have my insurance in place, right? If I quit, once you check those three boxes off, is, hey, where am I going to build safe dollars that are covering the risk I'm taking elsewhere? And how can I leverage those safe dollars to take more risk and therefore generate more wealth, right? And so that's the reality. Most people are depending on market pressure just going up to safe dollars, right? Now, you might think to yourself, okay, well, safe is inefficient, but that matter, cash, right? Well, you know, cash is low yields, high tax, right? So the reality is not doing much for you at the end of the day, right? So we have ways of incorporating strategies that will allow clients to build these safer dollar buckets that can give them relative advantage and ultimately allow them to take more risk elsewhere. But that's the name of the game. Get your insurance in place, well, let's say dollar asset, let's take much risk. Have a financial plan, basically, right? What I was alluding to before, right?
What type of investment should someone build that?
Well, the first portfolio just contains all the asset classes, right? So from, you know, your large cap to mid cap, small cap, international real estate, commodities, all that good stuff. That's a diversified portfolio. I think in terms of, you know, one thing you always get to keep in mind is I get asked a lot, because most everyone works with a financial advisor, right? So I'm always getting asked, well, asset allocation, right? And I always turn around and ask clients, okay, well, asset allocation is not important, or asset allocation. It's not always about how you invest, but wherever you invest. Are they tax efficient, right? So diversification can come inside an investment portfolio, but also come on a balance sheet. Most people only focus on diversification inside an investment portfolio, not on a balance sheet, right? So, you know, diversification on a balance sheet is having safe and aggressive assets, it's having tax efficient and taxable assets, right? You know, are we taking advantage of everything we can, right? Are we maximizing quality of so we're taking advantage of so we're doing this, we're doing that. You know, from a diversification side of investment portfolio standpoint, well, you know, we're taking advantage of all nine asset classes, right? How are we waiting? Are we rebalancing, right? I mean, that's just per client, right? How risky do we want to go? You know, but I think as a financial planner, what I realize is, and one time I'll give you guys a story. I remember a client coming in and he had been working with someone that was marriage together for you. And he brings out an investment proposal that he had, right? And I remember telling him, like, that's not the plan. It's an investment, right? It'll certainly help you get into your retirement, but it's not managing the risk associated with financial planning, looking at other things, consideration. It's just one accumulation to one particular vehicle. You have a plan, right? And I quickly realized what they did, right? And so I think it's a lot of that, right? You often see asset allocation, you don't see asset allocation. That's the relation of market. Someone opens up people's eyes, like, oh, I didn't. However, that's more important than diversifying your investment portfolio at the time. That's cool.
Yeah, we actually we were thinking about maybe investing in real estate REITs. And in my opinion, I really should use the recession, but can you just talk about your opinion? What do you think the pros and cons of investing in real estate?
Oh, well, I mean, you always have market risk with real estate, right? Let's face it, that's very much dependent upon the economy that we're in down the road, what the future looks like. You know, I think, you know, there's pros and cons to investing, to be honest with you, right? If we look at sort of the bigger picture here, I think what's most important question you always got to ask is, well, what are we managing this portfolio for and over what period of time, right? And I think the greater clarity you have on that, the greater clarity you have on that. Right? Because you might say, okay, invest in research now, I don't know that, right? But if you tell me, well, this is a generational portfolio, this can easily be 100, 200 years in the future of that for you, I'd say, well, that exposure to REITs will probably be pretty well over that period of time, right? So I think you got to think about it from that lens of, well, what are we investing for and what's our time horizon, right? And I think if you're trying to ultimately build legacy, right, it can be a great opportunity to invest in what might be under full asset today, because the other day, real estate is all about real estate, right? Yeah, it goes through this market upturns and downturns and this and that, it's great and all. So maybe if you told me, hey, I'm investing in the next 2 years, and then after you going to pull 70% of this fund, they're going to utilize it for capital improvements, and if I say, all right, maybe maybe we should stray away from REITs for now, right? But I think if you manage money for the long run, then exposure to anything is going to ultimately appreciate you.
Yeah, we're definitely. And I think another thing, like, I know there's like a lot of people that talk about going to debt. What's the best way to pay off debt, also invest in the future?
Well, I think so managing debt balance is a priority, right? That's the beauty of it. Well, I think the best way to manage debt is to not have bad debt, right? Control credit cards, things of that nature. But there's also debt you can manage, right? There's student loans, et cetera, right? Lower interest rates or whatnot. I think you want to have a balance. And to be honest with you, there's no right or wrong answer. Everything's dependent on the individual, right? I'm going to clients and say, Mike, I'm not going to pay off. I don't care what. Changing your mind, right? And vice versa. But ultimately, I think if you're going to have a balance, what you got to understand is the interest rates that you have on your debt. And you got to understand, well, can I potentially grow my net worth by paying less towards my debt and possibly get a better rate of return long-term elsewhere, right? And that's what I think good debt can be leveraged, right? You know, for example, I locked in my mortgage right after COVID at 2.8%, right? So how am I going to rush to pay that debt off? If somebody said, hey, how important is manage debt? I'd say that debt is just fine. You could do it right there. I'm going to go invest elsewhere, right? I know I'm going to get a better rate of return than inflation tax on 2.8%, right? So you have to understand ultimately, well, you got to go through that, right? So I think people always looking for magic bullets or the silver bullet, I should say, like the answer to everything. There's no universal answer. That's the beauty. You got to just understand everybody's personal position and what's best for them.
And I know there's like, I know there's topic about that. But in the finance and the financial, how big is that play in that profession?
Oh, huge now. Yeah. It's come a long way since the Wall Street. You know, as a CFP, I'm held to a very high ethical standard. In fact, you know, working with clients and have client engagement, engage with my team. If I don't do what's considered in their best interest, they can sue me, right? So, if you share obligation, anything I do, I go recommend the term insurance policy, right? So, I think, yes, that nowadays you'll see most financial advisors act within a fiduciary capacity, which gives the client an upper hand, right? Ultimately, and yeah, ethics play a big role now. It's certainly much more so than decades ago. Wholeheartedly on the plan. And if you become a CFP, you don't have a choice. I'm obligated to hand all my clients our ethics piece, right? So it's the reality of it now. So yeah, no, for sure, 100% ethics is a huge part of our clients.
So I know most of our members here, they don't want anything about retirement. How can someone plan for retirement and assume that they have enough savings to support their life throughout the rest of their life?
Yeah. Well, you know, this is what I always tell clients, right? Retirement is just a fancy term. Because really, all it means is financial freedom. You're essentially just building up assets on your balance sheet that produce sufficient income to maintain a standard of living without having to work, right? So how can we retire quickly? How can we start building for retirement? Build assets, save money, invest. That's the beauty of it, right? I mean, the reality is, like most people talk about retirement, 65, 60, this and that, and I'll always say, okay, but that's financial freedom. Nobody said you couldn't achieve that any sooner. You just manage what you do with your money, right? So I don't think you need to focus on like a specific number of it now. What you got to do is work hard and build, right? You'd be surprised what kind of financial freedom you'll have much sooner. Right? Yeah, I mean, I meet with people over in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and whatnot. They want to get an understanding where's my 401k getting. Yeah, we'll develop a retirement analysis. But at the end of the day, what's important is not so much what the retirement analysis looks like, but whether or not we're maximizing the saving the best, right? And if we're not, let's go do it. That'll determine retirement.
Do you have any questions?
Hopefully, this has been.
Oh, this has been helpful. They've been loving these questions. Okay, cool. I know they're shy. They don't want to turn off their mic. So again,
That's great. It shows interest, obviously, and you know, it's always good to get a perspective from somebody who's in the field every day, too. And I'm sure they're curious about that.
Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. That's just, I was gonna say some more info about the internship. If people were curious about hours and stuff, that was just a slide for it, but. You know what? Yeah, then we can, so just so anybody knows, if there's anybody who is interested in the training, in our internship, I always make sure that there are dates on there because I know some people have, vacations or taking summer classes in case they want to know the details of it if for somebody's really interested. And the summer internship for us starts that last week of May. And then we do a 40-hour work week in the summer. We think you get the best experience. Obviously, hopefully you're gonna make the most money. And then in the spring and fall semesters, we do about a 15-hour week. We understand you're balancing, school as well. And that is something that starts either in early January or early September. Yeah.
So my last question, I usually ask this. It's a two-part. What's the best piece of advice you would give? If there's anything you would want to tell yourself when you like way back in college, if there's one thing you want to change, and tell your past self what would be. And if all our members here virtually, what's the best piece of advice you give someone who is a freshman, does not know what they want to do?
I can do that first. Oh, yeah, so I would say that the best piece of advice I was given in my career, simple enough for me, was just keep smiling. Honestly, I think that's something actually a woman named Terry in our office told me recently that I've really held on to since October when she said it to me. And I think it's something that I'm going to remember forever. I naturally am a positive person, and I don't see the time in worrying about things or getting upset and really mad about it. And I do have a sense of life and in my career that's happy-go-lucky in a sense that I'm just trying to make the most out of everything. So I think I'm going to remember that for a long time in a sense. When I get stressed or I have a lot going on, I just got to keep smiling. Everything's okay. And then I would say that the piece of advice or something that I knew I wish I knew, was that the second question? Really worried about not having a career path, not having that one career you really want to strive to get into, you're gonna find a path. I think that it's very difficult as an 18-year-old to pick out a major that you're gonna specialize in, or concentration, minors, all that kind of stuff, or just picking the school you're going into the arts, into science, into business. It's okay to come in undecided for people who are here as freshmen and sophomores who still haven't picked a major. I actually think that's a really great option because it saves you the time of switching over from all different schools, taking credits that aren't going to matter later on when you find out what you're truly interested in. And I would say just breathe, take your time, and you know yourself best at the end of the day, not the people in career development, not these aptitude tests or personality tests online that people are Googling nowadays trying to figure out what their ideal career is going to be. You're going to know it when you are exposed to it, I think.
That's great. I guess I'm two pieces of advice. One, successful people will do it, unsuccessful people not. Right. So that's one thing. Always keep in mind. But I also remember sort of when I first got started, I said, people that come to the world, very few thought about that. A lot of this referring to was learning from successful actions. You got to do a rejection. Right? And one thing that made me really successful was realize, you know what? And ties into what successful people become, right? What successful people want to do. And that's the reality. So that would kind of be my piece of advice there. What I would say is maintain relationships, build on them, right? You know, I do look back a lot now that I built this practice, and I kind of think about a lot of people that I over different points of my life, and I just wish I would have maintained strong relationships there. Because relationships are everything, right? You always hear it's not about what you know, it's about who you know, right? Networks. I would encourage really think about the people right, and nurturing relationships. You never know what that's what I would say. Yeah, I mean, I think for somebody just getting started, just be involved, right? Find your passion at the end of the day, right? Like, you know, being part of this club, right? For example, things like that, just be involved in that. I think the more you do outside of the classroom, the more you find about yourself, right? The more you find out about yourself, the more you realize, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that, right? You have to try things to figure out whether or not that they're going to be fit for you, right? So I'm just saying, just be very involved with that. I remember when I was in college, I knew all this stuff. I just ran a bunch of businesses, just tried a bunch of industries, figured it out, and I realized, okay, yeah, I want to do this. Right? So, and I was involved in a lot of other things that weren't the right fit for me. I found that out too, right? So I would just say, just be involved in a lot, and you'll be surprised what you find your passions.
Thank you two both so much for speaking to us today. We appreciated that. But again, that's it, guys. Remember next week we'll be Monday in the Hall, EY will be coming in program. And that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.